Hello everyone, I'm Terry Flott, Provost of the newly named UMass Chan Medical School and Dean of the T.H. Chan School of Medicine. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this virtual version of our annual scholarship celebration. While we had hoped to celebrate in person this year, we value your health and well-being more. We're thankful to connect you safely and from wherever you are. UMass Chan Medical School is experiencing a period of growth and transformation. You only need to walk around our campus for a brief period to see and sense that we are indeed an institution on the move. Currently, the campus is an active construction zone with not one, but two substantial projects at different phases in the building process. A new 4-story, state-of-the-art VA community-based outpatient clinic on the corner of our campus will formally open in November to provide care for the veterans of Central and Western Massachusetts, with training opportunities for our students. And this winter, the first steel beams to support our 9-story new education and research building will sprout up from the ground. It will be between our existing Lazar and Sherman buildings. When complete, this new signature facility will reconnect the linkage of our research and education complexes around an impressive campus green. There has been much to celebrate at our medical school this fall. You may have heard of the history-making $175 million transformational gift to our medical school from the Morningside Foundation and the Chan family. With this gift, we begin the second 50 years of our journey, poised to transform our institution and take our rightful place amongst the finest medical schools in the world that are committed to healthcare education, research, and service to others. We also celebrated not one, but 2 white coat ceremonies for the class of 2024 and 2025. In wearing their new white coats, our students made the commitment to lifelong learning, to living a life in service to others, to be uncompromising in practicing evidence-based care, to upholding the standards of our profession, and most importantly, to always remember what a privilege it is for us to care for our patients, and not a privilege for our patients to be cared for by us. This is a wonderful time in the students' lives, and your support is what makes it possible for so many to fulfill a dream of helping others, of making a real difference in the world. Your gifts are powerful. Your generosity helps the students of today, and it supports the communities these students will one day serve. You are part of a community of like-minded, forward-thinking people who create an environment that nurtures our students. We know that donors who establish named scholarships are inspired to do so for many reasons. Let's hear from one of them now.
Hi, my name's Randy Pellish.
And I'm Elyssa Aronson Pellish.
And we are both from the class of 2001 of UMass Medical School. And last year celebrated our 20th year reunion, managing to have a nice outdoor event with many of our classmates.
UMass Medical School is obviously very special to us since that's where we met. We have continued to be involved with the Alumni Association and our reunion committee and feel that staying engaged with the medical school is extremely important.
We were thinking about how best to commemorate the 20 years since we graduated and express our gratitude to the amazing education that we had at UMass. The idea of a scholarship just made perfect sense to us.
We have met many inspiring scholarship students over the years, as well as residents in our respective practices. We continue to be impressed with the caliber and spirit of UMass grads. We decided that establishing an endowed scholarship fund was a great way to help the next generation of UMass physicians.
UMass has always been the gift that just keeps on giving to us, and we're so happy to have this scholarship in our names. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy and Elyssa. Through your new scholarship, enable these students to grow, to strive, and to be better than they thought they could. Just this year alone, support from you and so many others meant that 142 medical students received much-needed financial assistance. More than $377,000 was given out in donor-funded scholarships. the bottom line is, it is only possible because of generous donors like all of you. You have invested in the future of our students and in the future of healthcare. You have created a wonderful legacy at UMass Chan Medical School, and we can't thank you enough for your support. And it is now my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Ann Larkin. Dr. Larkin is Vice Provost for Educational Affairs and also Vice Chair and Associate Professor of Surgery. She has been an attending surgeon with UMass since 2001. Ann is responsible for creating an inclusive process to implement the educational goals of our strategic plan, as well as the oversight of crucial educational resources that support the educational mission of the 3 schools, including the T.H. Chan School of Medicine. She and her team work closely with students to ensure their experiences are engaging and purposeful. And she is with us now to introduce a few of those students to you.
Thank you, Dean Flott, and good evening to everyone. I'm so glad that you're able to join us for this virtual celebration, and I too thank you for your support of our students. Your generosity is providing wonderful opportunities for them, and it means the world to us. Over the course of the pandemic, we maintained our laser-like focus on educating tomorrow's physicians so that we could help improve the health and well-being of others. Recently, I was listening to a speech given by Gerald Chan, the son of T.H. Chan, for whom our medical school is now named. This was an address that he gave at a commencement a few years ago. He noted in that address that we must celebrate the journey of our beginnings to our destination. Students may not know what their destination is, and that's great, because it means that they have kept an open mind, which will allow for curiosity. And for many UMass Chan medical students, that journey began with you. Who better to explain the impact of your contributions to their medical journey than the students themselves? It is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, 4th-year student Bridget Yang. An outstanding student and peer mentor, Bridget also has a flair for creative writing.
My name is Bridget Yang, and I'm a 4th-year student at UMass Chan Medical School. First, I want to thank Dean Flott and Dean Larkin for putting the celebration together and allowing me to be a part of it. I'd also like to thank the JT, Ty, and Company Foundation, who, through their long-time dedication and support of medical students like me, has allowed so many of us to pursue our dreams. The path of medicine is long and has many barriers, but their generosity allowed me to overcome some of these barriers to be where I am today. I was very lucky to meet Mrs. Chen of the Thai Foundation a few years ago in New York City, and I treasure our visit. I was born in China, where I lived until age 5. My parents sought out the American dream, and we moved around numerous times in my childhood, ultimately coming to the U.S. shortly before my 10th birthday. Like many immigrant families, my parents' wish was for my sister and I to obtain a quality education and to build a better life than the poverty that they grew up in. They worked hard to move to Boston, knowing that the Northeast was known for its emphasis on education. I attended Boston Latin School, then Tufts University, where I really began my journey to medicine, and eventually became the first in my family to go to medical school. I was drawn to medicine with its evolving therapies, cutting-edge technology, and intimate knowledge of diseases. I solidified this passion during my subsequent gap years, working after college as a scribe in Boston, where I encountered numerous underrepresented patients. I found a true purpose in helping them understand their condition and getting them the resources they needed. I knew that I wanted to one day be in the shoes of the attendings I worked with at the time, discussing goals of care with patients and creating a personalized plan to reach those goals. UMass Chan Medical School has a great culture and an emphasis on the community. In-state tuition and financial aid have given me more freedom in my career options since they have eased some of my concerns about looming student debt. This is particularly important to me given my career desire to serve at-risk populations where resources are even more limited. Having been part of the Urban Pathway program and the substance use disorder elective during medical school, I gained experience and enjoyed working with underserved patients. As I saw what seemed to be endless healthcare barriers for these patients, I also became more interested in healthcare policy and how I could help advocate to help change these barriers. I participated in the Massachusetts Medical Society activities and served as a student delegate during their conferences. I also helped organize the first year of a health system sciences elective for others who also wanted to learn more about how the overall healthcare system is structured, including Medicare and Medicaid funding and pharmaceutical pricing. Because of this newfound interest in advocating against healthcare disparities on a systemic level, I'm potentially considering a master's in public health. I know that I have the privilege of considering this path because of my generous donors to my education. I have less fear about seeking a master's or pursuing a fellowship after my residency. Because UMass donors have prevented my debt from becoming insurmountable, I know that all of this remains an option for me. I'm applying into internal medicine for residency, where I want to continue my passion for working with more at-risk patients. I'm so fortunate to have spent my last 4 years at UMass Chan Medical School, where I've received an excellent education as well as wonderful mentorship. I'm grateful to the Thai Foundation and all my scholarship donors for giving me and other students like me the opportunity to follow our passions. Throughout my years of education, beginning in high school, my family and I relied on scholarships and donations to get the education that my parents dreamed for us when they left China 22 years ago. So thank you to all of the donors for lifting up students like me and investing in a better future for our community.
Thank you, Bridget. Any internal medicine residency program will be lucky to get you. Next up is Thomas Kanya, a third-year student from Worcester, who is very involved with the local community.
Hello, my name is Thomas Kanya, and I'm a current third-year medical student here at UMass Chan Medical School. First, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to speak here today, with a special thanks to Dean Flott and my mentor, Jim Ledwith. This is a great opportunity to say thank you and show just how important donations and scholarships are to students. Similarly to most of my peers and colleagues in medicine, I was attracted to the field because it gives me the opportunity to have a significant and positive impact on people's lives. We all love the field because we love having the ability to help people. And like many of my peers, I started my pursuit of medicine way back in high school, which really isn't that long ago for me, I guess. I do have the unique and distinct pleasure of growing up in Worcester and graduating from Worcester Public Schools. Although I grew up near and graduated from Burncoat High, I consider myself lucky to be in the Tatnick Learning Community, named after another area of Worcester. After high school, I started my UMass journey a little early by going to UMass Amherst for a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. Then, I was extremely excited to return home and continue my education here at UMass. Something that sticks out about my journey is that I'm completely a public school kid, and despite that, I can still say I've accrued my fair share of debt. This is exactly why alumni and other donors are such an important part of our education. Medical school tuition is extremely expensive, and there are other hidden costs to the field. Not only do you need an undergraduate degree, but you also need to take several tests during medical school years to become a fully licensed physician, with some of those costing almost $600 apiece. Not to mention the cost of the necessary study materials to actually do well on those tests. For a person who is the first in their family to go to medical school, like myself, I had no idea what I was in for. Some people have parents or siblings who know exactly what the hidden costs of medical school are and can plan for it years ahead of time. For a newcomer like myself, the hidden costs of medical school caught my family and I off guard. That's why scholarships like the one I received from the class of 1998 helped me pay for those tests and other necessary resources. Who knew that a bunch of cartoon videos about E. coli and Group A strep could be so necessary and helpful? Supporting scholarships and financial aid at UMass Medical School also supports the community. Since I grew up here in Worcester, I've been a part of a diverse community, including my teachers and mentors. Now that I'm in medical school here, I've had the opportunity to not only help people with their health through community clinics, but also with their dreams and aspirations as well. By connecting with our former high school math teacher, who is now a vice principal at North High, my fiance and I were able to start a tutoring and mentoring initiative for high school students interested in STEM fields. It's an amazing opportunity to help these kids achieve their goals of going to college and being engineers and scientists, nurses, and even doctors. I know I would have appreciated the opportunity when I was in school. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone who has supported students here at UMass, as your contributions have a profound impact on the mental and financial wellness of all of us, and by extension, an even greater impact on the city of Worcester and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I hope to one day be able to give back myself to help support others like me. first-generation students without the background or resources to fully pay for all that is needed to get through medical school, yet the passion and joy to heal, inspire, and impact the future of healthcare. Thank you for your investment.
Thank you so much, Bridget and Thomas, for sharing your stories. They are truly inspiring, and we are so glad that you're a part of our community. As you well know, the work we do at UMass Chan Medical School focuses greatly on one thing: to educate and train aspiring physicians, nurse educators, and advanced nurse practitioners, as well as basic science researchers. Bridget and Thomas represent the future of medicine, and as such, they are a vital component of the future health and well-being of our local and global communities, which means that you are the future of medicine too, because so much of what we do and offer our students would not be possible without your support. Now that we've had time to share their wonderful stories, I'm going to turn it back over to Dean Flott.
Thank you, Anne, Bridget, and Thomas. Hearing from our students about their medical journey is always inspiring. It is my pleasure and honor to share that we had a record-breaking year with 11 new endowed scholarships established by individual donors. I want to highlight a few for you. Of those 11 new scholarships, 9 are from alumni or parents, and 5 were from alumni who were in their reunion year. Due to COVID-19, those with the reunion couldn't gather on campus, but they still stepped up to support our students. 2 members of the class of 1986, which celebrated their 35th reunion virtually, endowed these scholarships. The Bilazarian Family Scholarship. Dr. Bilazarian shared that he and his wife established this scholarship since UMass gave him so much, and their roots and families are in Worcester County. And the Ann L. and Kai W. Wong MD 86 Scholarship. Dr. Wong shared, "I had a wonderful experience at UMass and wanted to support the medical school that had trained me and set me on my path." Other alumni with reunions in 2021 also established scholarships, including Drs. Claudie and Jennifer Mullen Scholarship. Dr. Mullen, class of 1991, in celebration of her 30th reunion, shared that giving back to the institution that had such an impact on her life was extremely important and a wonderful way to leave her legacy. Elyssa Aronson Pellish and Randall Pellish, class of 2001 scholarship. Elyssa and Randy are both from the class of 2001 and would have celebrated their 20th reunion. They both served on the reunion class gift committee, and Randy serves on our alumni board. They established this scholarship to recognize the high-quality education they received and to help the next generation of UMass Chan physicians. Next up is the Dowell Infection Connection Scholarship, established by Karen Dowell and Mark E. Dowell, MD, 85, who have a practice called Rocky Mountain Infectious Diseases, to help launch the medical careers of others. The Riviera Ranch Scholarship was established by Marcia Feinberg, a current parent, to ease the financial challenges that may impede someone's ability to become a physician. The Riviera Ranch is a special place related to their family history. Parents Mary Ellen and Stephen Davis also established a scholarship this past year, Doctors Mary Ellen and Stephen M. Davis Scholarship. Stephen is a pulmonary and sleep medicine physician at UMass Memorial Health, and also the proud parent of UMass Chan alum. The Susanna Wu Lee MD 78 Scholarship is the second fully endowed scholarship by Dr. Wu Lee. Susanna had already established a scholarship in 2018 in memory of her husband, Robert G. L. Lee, MD 76. Thank you, Susanna, for this second positive and thoughtful scholarship. Neurology Vice Chair and Professor Brian Silver and his wife, Rachel Wolf Silver, are generously honoring Brian's parents with the Mildred Kuzmarov Zilberzak and Leon Zilberzak Scholarship. We also recognize the Dr. Danuta J. Antowiak Memorial Scholarship. Established by family and friends of Dr. Antowiak to honor her memory as a beloved family physician at UMass Memorial for more than 20 years. And finally, we acknowledge 2 longtime scholarships that still receive generous support each year. The first is the William and Stephen Putterman Scholarship. This scholarship was established by family, friends, and colleagues over 20 years ago as a memorial tribute to Steve and his father, William. They shared a love of travel and commitment to multicultural destinations. We wanted to say thank you to the Putterman family for continuing to add generously to this scholarship over the last 20 years. Steve and William would have been proud of this legacy. We also wanted to thank the George F. and Sybil H. Fuller Foundation for funding a scholarship each year for more than 10 years for an MD-PhD student. Many thanks to all the members of the Fuller Foundation Board of Trustees for your steadfast support. That concludes my highlights of some of our scholarships. There's such a variety of reasons for these scholarships, but it all boils down to the fact that your support and your participation means the world to our students, as well as to those who teach and mentor them. Your investment ensures that our deserving students can focus their efforts exactly where they need to be, on making the most of a high-quality, comprehensive medical education, which will help them become the best they can be. We're so glad you could join us today, and we hope to see you in person next year. Thank you, everyone. This concludes our program. We hope you and yours continue to be safe and well. If you have any questions or want to find out more about scholarships, don't hesitate to contact our advancement team at umassmed.edu/giving. Thank you.